And now the separate property asset has a brand new kitchen, which obviously raises the equity in the house when the spouse that owns it goes to sell. But then they're like, hey, that's not fair.
Right. Hi, friends. Welcome to My Divorce Real Estate. I'm Amber Gifford, and today we have Mia Baratowski in the house.
Yes.
In the house, my favorite. So, this we've touched on before in some other YouTubes, but I want to talk to you guys about it with a family lawyer who does it every day. We've heard the question many times about, hey, my husband had a rental property that we moved into and it became our house and we lived in it. He bought it before they were married. So therefore it becomes separate property. And they were married for 20 years. And let's just say it's the wife this time. And she's like, well, but I have been paying the mortgage payment on that property that we're living in that he purchased prior to marriage, which is separate property, every month for 10 years, let's say. What exactly does this equate to when you're getting a divorce? Because we've talked about equitable interest in a property, but there's a really good term that you guys use and how you equate what that dollar value is, because it truly is separate property, but they
Right.
have an equitable interest. So what does that exactly mean and how do you show for it?
So when community property funds, so earnings, income during the marriage, anything like that, is used to pay down a separate property house that was purchased prior to marriage, because that's one of our separate property reasons. Um, Essentially what you have is a reimbursement claim, and it is on the spouse with the claim to prove. So make sure your ducks are in a row when it comes to that, in terms of like evidence, bank statements, mortgage statements, really showing that those were funds from
Out
the
of you.
community.
Okay, that's important.
Paying down that house.
Or your own account.
Right.
Like I'm saying, like she says, oh, this I paid the mortgage. So you're saying you have to have proof of it, like go into your checking account, search paid whatever secure national mortgage, and that's where you showed for 10 years you've been making that payment.
Right.
Right? That would suffice.
It should, you have some really good evidence there.
Okay.
And really what you're looking for is a reimbursement, it is what it sounds like, of that community property money that was spent on a separate property asset. I also get this question a lot when it's a separate property house of one spouse and they've lived there X amount of years, and then they're like, hey, let's renovate the kitchen and spend $75,000 renovating the kitchen or whatever it is. And now the separate property asset has a brand new kitchen, which obviously raises the equity in the house when the spouse that owns it goes to sell. But then they're like, hey, that's not fair.
Right.
That was, I went to work to pay for your separate property house renovations.
Right.
So you can have a reimbursement claim on that as well. Obviously, you would need
Records.
You need all of the invoices of the repairs or renovations. Probably like a competitive market analysis of what the house is worth now, with those repairs. And then there's one other way to get a reimbursement claim, and it's called time, toil, and effort. They're more rare, but it's essentially where one spouse is working, spending their time, toil, and effort on a separate property asset, house, business, whatever it may be. So if that rings a bell to you, just know to ask for that. It kind of sounds like Halloween.
It does.
Just know to ask for that and have a conversation with your attorney to see if that does apply to you.
So question, hypothetically speaking, couple that's married, the house was purchased, it's separate property before they were married, and they were only married a year, and she only paid 3 months worth of the mortgage out of her own. Is that even worth trying to get a reimbursement on? Because what you're going to pay an attorney, like...
Right. That's a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
Maybe. It just really depends on how the numbers shake out. I would just really need to see how much was paid, how much the house is worth, things like that.
So what about this scenario? What if you never married, but you're common law, and same situation, you've been paying everything for this property that's your common law marriage spouse? can you still get equitable interest or reimbursement? Or is it's like a case by
So
case?
that's like another can of worms that maybe needs to be another video. But
Of course.
common law isn't what people think that it is. Essentially, if you just think you're common law married, but you just break up and you never file for divorce, then you were never common law married, right?
So we did have a case one time where someone came to us saying they were never married, but we really referred them to a real estate attorney, not family law, because it was a real estate matter.
Right. And yeah, if you're not married, then it's certainly not a family law matter. It probably, if you think you're common law married and it's in your best interest to get a divorce, it's worth paying for a consultation with a family lawyer to really see, because it's not just as easy as it sounds. There's nothing to do with 7 years. I get that like question a lot.
Oh,
like,
really?
Oh, there's
Like the 7-year tax return stain.
Right. I always feel like people think that, oh, well, I've been dating them. We've been common law married for 7, or, it's been 7 years. So now we can say we're common law married. There's like a rumor that's going around about that.
Oh, well, watch our next video on common law marriage.
Right.
But reimbursements
are a really good thing. It's equitable. It's for fairness reasons. If you think that applies to you, certainly talk to your attorney about it.
Definitely speak to the attorney. They're the ones with the knowledge. Remember, knowledge is power, and you want to get as much knowledge as you can so you can make a good decision. And that's why you look for a team of experts when you are going through a divorce. So as always, we are here to bring you something. Okay, wait. As always, we're here to bring you real life experiences to all your real estate needs. Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks.